Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 19 reads like this: Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Don't try to get away. Don't try to get away. There is no way around the Lord. Not only is there no way around the Lord, there's no way around a whole lot of other things. Unfortunately, we find ourselves frequently driving the getaway car of life. And it seems that we continue to ride around in our getaway cars wondering why our car is puttering and sputtering down the road. Because oftentimes the thrill of the getaway is only good for the first few moments. But in time, one gets tired of running away from life. One gets tired of running away from situations and from problems. All of our lives will come with some issues and some situations. All of our lives will come with some mistakes. But when we continue to make those mistakes because we feel like we can get away from God, get away from life, get away from our children, get away from our marriages in some sleazy dive. We feel like we can get away from work by slipping away into some work closet and take a nap without doing our job. We feel like we can get away by dropping our kids off with our mama and them while we're out partying our lives away, getting away from our responsibility. We think we can get away from our bills merely by not opening the mail. We feel like we can get away from life by just turning the phone on silent and checking our voicemail and monitoring our calls by looking at our caller ID. And so oftentimes we're trying to get away from life. And yet in that small corner where we finally find what we think of as a retreat, we still feel sad and depressed because we cannot get away. He says, in your going in and your coming out. And so we cannot get away from God. We cannot get away from life. And many of us need to finally give up our running shoes. Many of us need to turn in the keys to our getaway car. And some of us need to hold both hands up and say, I'm coming out. Many of us are trapped by life because we're constantly trying to slip by God. We're constantly trying to slip by what is right and running from the consequences of life, when in fact we need to fess up and recognize that it is a curse when we're running and we still are without God. And so don't think you can get away. Don't think that life is not going to still be waiting for you when you wake up. Some of us enjoy sleeping pills and all kinds of different things so that we can sleep longer. Some of us find ourselves in the arms of someone that we really don't even care for, but we just hope that they'll lull us to sleep and make us forget that life exists. Some of us just eat until we can't think anymore and pass out to sleep. Some of us drink. Some of us roll so much weed till we're still trying to figure out what's wrong with our fingers, that carpal tunnel from rolling weed. Trying to get away from life. And you can't get away because at some point in time, you must sober up. And Mother Chapman recognized that life is still there waiting for you. The worst part about it is the more you let life wait, most of the time, Brother Chaz Williams, the more jacked up it is when you finally wake up and recognize that life is still there, waiting for you to surrender, because you can't do it without God. He says, cursed are you and you're coming in and you're going out. Remember on last week I explained this word cursed. I'm removing myself from you. It's not that God is doing anything to you. It's the fact that you don't have God with you. Because when you have God with you, What happens, Sister Meeks, is we decide not to drive our own getaway car. We sit in the passenger seat, and then God will take us away. Yeah. And nothing can catch us when God is our getaway driver. Because he will take care of our every situation. And so there was a popular company that once said, relax and leave the driving to us. And so we must allow the Lord to lead us in our going in and our coming out. We must allow him to lead us. If we don't, then we don't get the best out of life. So